It's Accountech Bytes, your pint-sized parade of platforms and plugins, bringing you the latest from the world of accounting technology. I'm Tom Herbert. Thank you for tuning in, and if you find this useful, please like, subscribe, or follow, depending on your platform of choice. As always, plenty to get through, so let's get straight into it. And we start with a piece from Scottish Financial News, which reports that Big Four accountancy firm PwC said it expects to achieve full end-to-end audit automation by 2026. So PwC's US assurance transformation leader told a briefing at its New York office that it expects to complete its rollout of AI tools by 2026, covering every stage of the audit cycle, from planning and risk assessment through to evidence testing and financial statement review. He went on to say the technology would deliver gains in efficiency and quality. Now, while I'm sure this is great news for senior leaders, partners, and technologists, what's the feeling in the engine room or in the graduates like about this? Interesting post on Reddit about this from what I presume is an accounting student in the UK. Should I even accept my 2026 Big Four audit internship at this point? People are saying how AI will take over audit and accounting in a few years, while others are saying, don't worry. Some good responses here. This person says nothing ends abruptly, although everything eventually will get automated. I think that was an REM song. While another respondent within the Big Four says that nobody in a position to make decisions in any of the big firms actually knows how AI works. And the big challenge for professional services firms over the next decade is how to train and produce people who thoroughly understand the work, when a lot of said work has been fed through AI instead of juniors. The point being, it might be a false economy if the work that's being produced very quickly by AI is not of great quality and there's no one around to check it. Now, back in May, I headed to Atlanta for the Sage Future Conference, where they announced they'd be rolling out a Sage AI Trust label. That's now live in Sage's mid-market product Intact for both US and UK customers. What is it exactly? Well, apparently it is a label that appears where anything is generated by AI, highlighting things like customer data usage and global regulation compliance. I'd be interested to see it in action. I'm struggling to visualize it at the moment. Let's move on to MTD Corner now, where the ATT's Emma Rawson has been digging into newly published research from HMRC into readiness for making tax digital for income tax among smaller agents. There's good news and bad news for the revenue. While many smaller agents are aware of it, knowledge of the actual requirements leaves a bit of room for improvement. So this is a survey of around 500 smaller agents, 99.6% of whom said they were aware that MTDIT is being introduced. Less encouragingly, when agents were asked to name a requirement of MTDIT, only 71% named quarterly reporting and 37% digital record keeping. In terms of preparation, 80% said they'd sent communications to clients, while only 7% of agents had taken no action to prepare them, despite most agents ramping up their activities for the introduction of MTD. Views on the pros and cons remained mixed. So 49% said they saw no benefits for clients, while the main perceived benefit identified was improved record keeping. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the main agent concerns were increased time, cost, and effort involved. Quite a punchy LinkedIn post here from Xero's UK Managing Director Kate Hayward, who states there's plenty being said about MTD right now, some of it helpful, some of it less helpful. Not sure I've seen specific criticism of Xero anywhere, but it's a useful post nonetheless. Hayward says that based on official HMRC data shared with the industry, Xero is currently the number 2 vendor for live MTD submissions. I haven't seen this data myself, but I'll take her word for it. But perhaps of most interest to Xero users on an MTD front is what's coming next, a multi-business functionality. So soon, Xero users will be able to manage multiple businesses, for example, a sole trade and a property business within a single Xero subscription. As it says here, not only does this eliminate the need to manage multiple subscriptions, it means you're not paying for multiple ones either. Accountech web member Tax Teddy joined the Iris Elements MTD quarterly reporting demo, and they report that the system generates a simple spreadsheet you can send to the client, they fill it in, and then you can upload the completed spreadsheet much in the same way as you file for MTD VAT. Now, if you're having issues getting those tech-averse clients on board with your MTD plans, we have just the webinar for you. Chris Downing and Lee Coombs join our very own Jake Smith for a special show all about the process of getting quarterly updates from clients who don't use accounting software. That's 11 a.m. Tuesday, November 25th. You can sign up via a link in the description, where you can also find links to everything else featured in the show. Big update from Iris Elements Accounts Production, which now supports charity accounts. You'll need the Accounts Production Enterprise subscription for that, and to submit to HMRC, you've got to subscribe to Iris Elements Tax. And they've also launched the Iris Tax Anomaly Detector. So this is a new AI-powered tax analysis tool currently only available when reviewing personal tax reviews. You can compare the open tax return to the previous years, if one exists, and receive recommendations to solving any issues found with the tax return. Sounds like an interesting release. If anyone from Iris wants to talk about it, my door's always open. Can you tell I just found the admin changelog? And the accounts receivable tool has a couple of updates. First up, they've enhanced their Xero integration, so you can now choose how payments without an invoice are synced to Xero. They've updated their settings layout, simplified the statuses for direct debit mandates, and launched what they're calling a God mode, giving admin users a single login across all admin accounts, so you can switch between accounts or create new ones straight from the drop-down menu. Here's one from me about a new tool, Record OS. So there's an AI working papers and tax filing platform launched to consolidate the sometimes disparate processes around self-assessment seasons, so connecting client data collection, working papers, reviews, and submissions in a single workflow for accountants and tax agents. And its co-founders confirmed to me that making tax digital submissions are next on the roadmap. Let's get on some news now, and the revenue's Lindsay Clark tackles a report from government spending watchdog, the National Audit Office. Now, the Treasury found an extra £1.6 billion for HMRC for extra tech investment, expecting 15% efficiency savings in return. Well, the NAO has concluded that the revenue has fallen short on these digital efficiency targets, as it struggles with a bewildering estate of legacy systems. Accounting web member Red5 reports on QuickBooks price increases. So these are the wholesale billing prices for account bookkeepers only. Packages on the smaller side of things, Ledger, Sole Trader and Simple Start, have no change. But moving up the ladder, we have an increase in the Essentials price and quite a hefty hike in the price for QuickBooks Plus subscription, which Red5 puts down to a reduction in the wholesale discount. Nobody likes price rises, particularly at the moment, and especially for those firms who have baked in software into what they charge clients. So there have been a few angry reactions to this, as there always are with all software vendor price rises. It's always worth reviewing what you currently use and what's out there, but it's useful to bear in mind that price doesn't always equate to the value that you're getting out of software. A quick update on a story I wrote in March last year about UK accountant Alex Falcon-Huerta, who was scammed out of £53,000 by cyber criminals in an account takeover scam, and then had the crime compounded by Business Account Revolut's refusal to reimburse the funds despite 40 transactions of just under £1,000 going out of her account in a 24-hour period. Well, on Wednesday, she got the provisional decision from the Financial Ombudsman stating that Revolut needs to repay her the funds, and hot off the press, Revolut has agreed. So hopefully this brings this chapter to a close and lets Alex move on. New firm owners Emily Vass and Dean Shepherd join me on the latest No Accounting for Tech podcast. So the new practice owners discussed their technology setups, the tools that have saved them time starting out, and the false starts they've had along the way. You can find that pod by searching for Accounting Web on your podcast player of choice. Let's get on to the integration station now, and practice and document management tool FYI has announced an integration with AML-CC, a UK platform that streamlines anti-money laundering compliance, risk management, and staff training for accounting firms. And multi-entity consolidation platform Gather.nexus has announced an integration with payments platform Stripe, enabling its users to subscribe to its platform using a wide variety of card and bank payment options. Right, that's your lot for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, if you could like, subscribe, or follow, I'd be eternally grateful. And to keep up to date with the fast-moving world of accounting technology, why not sign up for my weekly email? You know the drill. Pop your email address in the box, hit the yellow button, yada yada. I'll be back next week with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.